Cade Cunningham is having an MVP season. Almost looks like Kobe Bryant 2.0. The Lions face off against the Eagles Sunday night. I think this is a win. I think it's a must win, and it is a absolute win for us to separate us. The Red Wings continue to look a little bit of streakiness, but that's okay because I'm Mark, and this is the Detroit Fan Forum. All right. Well, like to say thank you so much for joining me here on whenever you're listening, whether it's raining, snowing. Shit, this is Michigan in November. Who knows what's going on? But I would like to say happy huntings to everybody out there on the opener this week. It's going to be on a Saturday. So looking forward to seeing some deer in the woods. Everybody's going to be up north. I'll be up north hunting with my son and our buddies, doing our traditional opening day rifle season morning hunt where I get up and everybody else pretends that they want to get up, but really sleeps through the morning, and I hunt by myself. And then they text me at like 8 o'clock saying, man, I wish I was out there with you. So happy to the hunters, and like and subscribe to the fan forum. We're more than just a Lions podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are everything Detroit. So if you're a fan of Detroit and you live in Detroit, or you don't even live in Detroit, but you're a fan, please just like, subscribe. We are on here daily. Myself, Hermdo, we're live after every Lions game, and we're going to be live after every Detroit Pistons playoff game because, guys, this season for the Pistons looks unstoppable. I don't know when you're watching this. They play so much, it's really hard to pinpoint a game, but I'll give you an example. Last night's game, I'm recording this on a Tuesday, but last night's game was against the Washington Wizards, and there was a buzzer beater 3-point shot to an undrafted rookie. And it was, I mean, just it reminded me of the 2004 Going to Work Pistons and a little bit of the Bad Boys. Now, obviously, I was a little too young for the Bad Boys to really remember every game, but those '04 Pistons, man, that was my wheelhouse, and that's what it reminds me of. The team is filled with defense. The team is filled with players that want to play for this coach. But the defense blows my mind to see a guy like Cade Cunningham, who's obviously our star guard, our star shooter, our everything for this team, play phenomenal defense in this day and age is awesome. I mean, he's putting up 30, 40 points a game, 45 shots. Looks like it's only just begun, too. It's not like it's streaky with Cade. He looks so dialed in, it's not even funny. So I want to know what everybody's thinking about this Pistons team, right? We were such a basketball town in the early 2000s and in the late 80s and early 90s that it's going to be a kind of a new perspective for some people that weren't alive back then. You got to put yourself in the frame of reference if you're in your, well, what our analytics call your 50s through your 30s. If you're a listener here, you'll remember the 80s was filled with the mid 80s was filled with baseball. The late 80s was filled with basketball. It was Isaiah versus Jordan. It was the Bad Boys versus the Bulls. Then we moved right into hockey, right, where the town was owned by the Detroit Red Wings. We loved that so much. 97, 98, 2002, 2008. And between that, you slide in the Detroit Pistons, the '04 Going to Work, Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups, right? There were so many years where we were just winning on all different levels. And then it got cold. Right? Things started to fall off. Obviously, the owner of the Pistons, Mr. Davidson, passed away, and his family just said, no, sorry, Joe, we're going to handcuff you. We're not going to do anything because we're selling the team. Totally get it, right? Pistons fall off the face of the earth. Really have. And what I'm trying to get to is they've needed Cade. They've really needed Cade Cunningham because we landed him first pick of the draft. We're never going to get the first pick again. We should have got it with Wembanyama. We're just not going to because the NBA is rigged. So, Cade, we need you to keep channeling your inner Mamba, your inner Kobe Bryant, because it's going to take you, sir, to really elevate us back into a basketball town, right? It's going to take you, Cade, and Jalen Duren playing this Stockton Malone 90s tag team basketball where it's going to attract guys, that role players that want to win a championship, right? The names that we all love to see. So it's up to Cade, Mamba Cade. I don't know. We're gonna have to come up with some cool name for Cade. Cade is such a calm guy. He's not like a big media personality, but I think it's gonna be really fun and exciting to watch him develop into a superstar now because he's always been a phenomenal basketball player. But can he be a superstar? Can he be the Kobe Bryant? Can he be yeah, I don't want to say LeBron James, but can he be the big guy, right? Can he be our Isaiah Thomas? Can he be the next Chauncey and Rip? We need that. So really excited about this Pistons season, the way it's starting. I mean, they're hitting stats that we haven't hit since you see the '05 team or the '89 team. I mean, just last night against Washington, he has 45 shots in a single game, right? Now, and that's exactly what Kobe did in his 81-point performance in '06 on 46 shots, right? So he is literally putting up Mamba like numbers. He is the second player in franchise history to record a 40-point triple double, joining Isaiah Thomas on this list. So, like, it's impossible to start ignoring the fact that he is being compared statistically to Kobe Bryant, Isaiah Thomas. He is leading a team that's being statistically compared to championship level teams. So I just love to see this momentum you're building with the Pistons team because, like I said, it's not just Cade, guys. It really isn't. It is it's everybody. Duran is having a phenomenal season, right? He's putting up 20 points a game and 20 rebounds. And I couldn't be happier, right? We're obviously missing a 3-point presence. Duncan had a couple threes, and I feel like he's starting to find his rhythm on this team. But I think we all know we want Malik Beasley back. And as long as the FBI and the league allow him to come back to the NBA, he will be a Piston, he said, right? And then you look at yourself and say, okay, not only are the Pistons the best team in the NBA right now, leader in the Eastern Conference, they have money, they have cap space. They haven't signed anybody. They haven't made these crazy contracts that you've seen all these other teams throw out, right? So it allows them, right, to now be in control in a league where the tides are turning. There is no one dominant team in the NBA right now. Oklahoma City looks like they're poised to be that next team, but we all know how the NBA works. Oklahoma is not going to be the face of the NBA, right? So there's going to be a coin toss for the next couple of years. Luka is doing really well in LA, but it's Luka, it's LA. That's as far as I'm going to take it. It's not a guaranteed team in that situation. It's not just full of like nasty stars. I think they're actually building a basketball team and trying to move on from outside of LeBron James. So well done to the LA Lakers for like kind of pushing him out and bringing in Luka Doncic, whom the Mavs just fired their general manager. So you now look at the Dallas Mavericks, who just got Cooper Flag, which they shouldn't have, but I guess that was their reward for taking Luka out to LA. And now you got the Mavs, who are probably going to be having some type of fire sale, guys. AD's older, Kyrie's older, they're both injury prone. Those teams don't want to pay those guys any more money than they've already paid them. So look for the Dallas Mavericks now. It's going to be the Cooper Flag team. So they're going to have to get real shitty and real young real quick. And that's why we see the Pistons, a shorthanded Pistons, needing a guy named Dennis Jenkins. He's a two-way guard. He's undrafted. He's played for St. Mary's and played for other couple small town. But I'm telling you, watching this guy play yesterday was just outstanding. He was all over, and the two-way guard says it all. That's what they have. They've got so many guys that can play frickin' defense. And in an era where defense is just not an option, I think that's just so awesome. So really proud, really happy to see these Pistons turning things around. It sounds like there's already some talk of the Lauri Markkanen trade. Obviously, he's the big guy from Utah that they threw a ton of money at. But now we're a team, like I said, you're going to see these guys that other teams are dumping and saying, hey, I'd rather chase a ring with you guys. I'm the missing piece. I'm your Rasheed Wallace, right? Not saying he is, but you just love to see us back in that conversation. Want to see us get healthy again, because obviously being shorthanded in the NBA is really rough because the tides can turn real quick. But there's just so much positivity right now going on with the Pistons. I can't ignore it. How can you ignore it? Right? It's impossible. Moving up though, they are going to have looks like a nice little schedule into the play-in conference, the play-in tournament for the NBA, the ripoff of the NCAA. But just it gives me some hope because not saying I want to win that tournament, but the Pistons will win that tournament. It's a statement piece for the league, and it says, "Hey, Cade's putting up Kobe and Jordan-esque numbers, and with LeBron exiting out of the NBA, why not? Why can't Cade Cunningham be the new face of the NBA? You know what I mean? Why does it have to be Anthony Edwards? Why can't it be Cade Cunningham? That's all I want to know. I mean, just because we're in Detroit, Ant-Man's in Minnesota. It's definitely not Ja, right? Ja's going to be traded. We know that for sure. So Cooper Flag, I don't know if you're going to be the face of the NBA that quick. They're going to push for you, that's for sure. The NBA is wide open right now when it comes to who controls it, who the face is. A lot of kids that are about to get their license are shooting and yelling out Steph Curry. There's a whole group of kids after them though that aren't looking at Steph Curry and saying, you know, that's not their guy, right? Who is going to be the guy that they're like, oh, these kids want to be just like, do I want to put on the buffs like Cade? I don't know. Something to think about. But yeah, so we got the Pistons doing really well. The Red Wings are pretty streaky right now. I'm going to defer everything for you guys to go check out Hermdo's videos on the Red Wings. He's doing a lot of great Rings content right now. But the streakiness for me, and I can't speak to it because I don't know it that well. I hold all my hope in the youth, and I really do. I think that Steve Yzerman has shown me, just an entry level hockey fan, that he's put together a really nice young core team. Kind of what I'm hoping I see out of the Tigers, out of their drafting, and saying, okay, are these guys going to be the future faces? Are they worth the wait? Right? Seems they are, right? I know we lost to the Chicago Blackhawks 5-1. There was a little streak we had going on right now. To me, I look at the Red Wings as a team that is like the Pistons last year. I think the Red Wings are going to do the streakiness that Herbo talks about, but I think when it comes to the playoffs, we make it into the playoffs this year. We kill that we bring back that streak and start saying, okay, we are a playoff contender team, and we're going to have that series that Detroit Pistons had against New York last year. We're going to have that this year with the Wings. They're going to have a really fun playoff series that may go to game 7. And on that game 7, you go, listen, even if they do win this game 7, how far are they going to go? But hey, how cool was it to see that they can do it? That's what I think you're going to get with the Red Wings this season. So enjoy it. That's a fun part of a young team is reaping the rewards of going, hey, it's a young team. We can ride that roller coaster comfortably, right? Versus, hey, what are they doing even playing out there, right? These guys aren't going to be here next year. The whole team is just melting down. We saw that with the Wings for the last couple of years, and it left a sour taste in my mouth. I know that much. Kind of what I think we're going to see with the Tigers. I'm not going to get really too much into baseball right now because it's a lot of people living in fantasy land until the reality sets in, right? Scott Harris is not the general manager that you're used to. So get over it. It's just the reality. And then we have our Lions, guys. We have our Lions going into what I think is a very well scripted match and a nice scripted Sunday night football game for all of us to watch. The Detroit Lions, who are 6-3, and the Philadelphia Eagles, whom are 6-2. Both are going to be squaring off week 11, Sunday Night Football, the two of the best teams in the NFC. That's how this is already being marqueed, right? The Philadelphia Eagles were nice enough to expose the Packers for whom they are yesterday when they beat them 10-7. Looks like if you can contain Jordan Love in the beginning and you don't let him get into a rhythm, there's no way you're going to let it. He's not going to. He just needs to get hot and started right away. And if it sounds like if you are that team and you are a disrupting defense that can shut him down in the beginning, you're going to win that game because their offense is all based on him getting hot. Didn't really watch a lot of the game, but I did watch some of the highlights, and that's exactly what they did. So kudos to Micah Parsons and the defense to holding the Philadelphia Eagles to 10 points. But again, on the same end, we know it. We've seen it with Detroit. You got to score points to win this. So I feel really good seeing the Eagles play a team and only be able to put 10 up on them, and seeing a very comparable, if not better, defense in Detroit, and going to myself, MCDC's at the sheet now. He's calling the plays. We see what happens. He knows what he wants to do. It was never Ben Johnson's explosive offense. It's always been MCDC's. And I'm telling you, I've said that last year, and I'll say that this year. The coordinator does a nice job helping Dan keep the seat warm. But at the end of the day, it's Dan's team and it's Dan making the plays. So we're going to see an MCDC calling plays in the sideline in the city of brotherly love on week 11. And I think you're going to see so much more confidence and explosiveness from the Lions than you did from those shitbag Packers. I'm already seeing, Matt LaFleur, is he going to be fined, or is he, I'm not fined, but fired at the end of the season? Listen, I think the Packers are a great organization, but for me as a coach, he just lacks that next level to me. I think he's a great coach, but he's not an amazing coach. He's not like MCDC where I want to fall in love with the guy. So, let's look at this though from a realistic point of view. The Lions get their winning ways back. Philly looks like they already won the Super Bowl. They still look really good and like a really hard team to beat. But I'm really excited about this for some reason, right? We are coming back off of that game against the Commanders, who, sorry guys, that wasn't a tough match, but we did what we were supposed to do. The Super Bowl champs have yet to play home lately, and they were just in Green Bay, so they're going to be home. So right now we have the week 11 a betting line set at Lions plus 1.5. So they think that this is an Eagles game, but this is a 1.5. This is also early on. It's not till Sunday night. So that line is going to move probably by a point and a half back and forth, I think, until the game. So, the Eagles started the season really hot, man, 4-0. Then they're dropping back to games against the Broncos and the Giants. They managed to get that back on track against the Vikings, who we just played. Then they got their revenge on the Giants, who just fired their coach. So a win on Monday night over the Packers allows them to keep pace with the Seahawks and the LA Rams, both are who are 7-2. But the Eagles' offense is loaded. It's been very solid. Their offensive line play has been a little bit chunky, and their defense has been a little bit uncharacteristic, closer to the middle of the pack, and then more so on the dominating side. I think that we're seeing them look a little bit more human now, which I'm okay with. They went out, though, and made some moves at the trade deadline. They got Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins and a cornerback and Michael Carter and Jair Alexander. So they brought in players. That always doesn't transition to success, though, and they have to give up assets for that, right? So it's going to be really interesting for us to see what kind of Eagles team we're seeing. We are a different team than they're used to playing. They've had some really good, easy wins, and I think their wins, too, against the teams they played. Look at those teams now. They're a lot different. So all can be said, though, week 11, you could look back on most of our teams now and probably say the same thing. So I personally think this is going to be a squeaker, but I think we lose the matchup in primetime against Kansas City. We win this one in Philly. I feel like gun to the head right now, the Lions are playing their best football with the gun to their head, and that's what this game is going to be. It's not in Detroit. We're not favored on the bet line as of right now. They're not going to be talking about the Lions going into Philly and just whooping their ass. We know the league loves Philly. It is it's a fun town to trash talk. Their fan base is very sensitive. They think they're winners, but deep down inside, they're just a bunch of slimeball losers. They're wannabe Dagos from New York. That's how Philly acts. It's kind of funny. But when it comes to you look at a real gritty town like Detroit, that's a real town. Philly's just a joke, right? It's a soft, wet blanket next to New York. Detroit is a real rough town. Philly guys cannot hang out in Detroit and get away with it. They can try their bullshit all they want. It's just not going to work. So I look at this town, this game right here, as the town of the real battle, gritty coaches too. They like to have their kind of thugged out mentality on the sideline. Well, we got MCDC. He's literally a walking human wrecking ball. I mean, the guy's a monster. So Nick Sirianni versus Dan Campbell. Who do you think is going to win? Jesus Christ. Nick Sirianni is going to need help of his boy Big Dom all day just to even fucking hold MCDC back from murdering him. So Okay, all kidding aside, all joking aside, it's going to be fun though. It's going to be a Sunday night game. So we have a kickoff now of 8:20 p.m., which will be on NBC. This is one where, hey, me and Hermdo are going to have to do a live broadcast after the game, and we might do a live broadcast before the game. You're going to have to let me know in the comments what you think. Is it worth watching before doing some hype, or should we just shut up, wait till the game's over, and come on here live and let you guys tear us apart? So either way, we'll be on live after this game. It's going to be a long next day for me, but that's okay. Like I said, MCDC's calling the plays. What does that look like if you're a D coordinator for Philly? What do you know? You're looking at tape of Johnny Morton outside of last game. You're looking at tape of Johnny Morton all season. So now that MCDC's calling the plays, what do you know? This is kind of like a head scratcher. This is harder to game plan for. He wants to get everybody involved. He showed us with Gibbs, Montgomery, J-Mo, Laporta, and St. Brown. His message to Johnny Morton was, I have all these weapons, use them. So this is a game where don't expect it just to be David Montgomery running the ball, Jahmyr Gibbs running the ball, Amon-Ra St. Brown catching a couple slants and some touchdowns. This is going to be a fucking crazy trick play game. Anticipate a lot of fourth downs and anticipate one trick play from MCDC. And you're going to say, Ben Johnson who? Well, that was never Ben Johnson. That was never Ben Johnson, right? So it was cool to kind of look at this game and go, you know, even with a loss, I still feel really good at the way we sit at the top of our division. But I know it's going to be a win. It really is. Super confidence. You know, the Eagles, when it comes to their offense, I mean, they're kind of on the bottom 10. So I think for as how many names they have, I think we can contain them. I think it's just going to be the right scheming. And can we keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket? And look what we did against Lamar. So when I see the Packers defense being able to hold them to 10 points, I say, so can we. I really do. So this game sucks though, because it's going to be streamed on Peacock and Fubo. I don't have Peacock, and I will need to watch this game. I hope the Sunday Night Football game is okay. So it will be on NBC. I'm sorry. So it will be on NBC, or you can stream it on Peacock or Fubo. Fubo. It should be Fubo. We should have a streaming network that is the Fubo clothing line, or radio 97.1. Bob, you can catch up on the radio. So write down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is going to be a fun week for Detroit sports, a fun weekend. You're going to also get your Michigan football back. College football right now for me is kind of like a coin toss. Really interesting to see now that NIL has made it a little bit more competitive. We have so many different teams in the playoff race, right? Not to say Indiana hasn't been a good team, but I mean, have they been relevant in the last 20, 30 years? Right now, you're looking at teams like that have a chance to go out and get a quarterback. So you've got Texas A&M, you've got Ohio State, you've got Indiana. It's just really cool to let some of these colleges start balancing things out. I know everybody's up and down on the NIL. I think this is just going to be a little bit of payback for all of let these kids get their money and figure out how this looks, because it was the inevitable and it has to happen, right? So let these schools grow, let these teams get bigger. It's the only shot you have if you're a Central Michigan or you're a, you know, I don't want to say Texas A&M because that's a big school, but for you guys to go undefeated, it's going to be rough, right? So we're used to seeing your Alabama, your Georgia, your Michigan, your Ohio State. But right now, everybody gets to be competitive, right? Just depending on how much money you want to spend and how well you can recruit. So super cool to see that in college. I don't really have a pot to piss in my eyes, as long as if Michigan's not relevant, which they're not in the sake of the playoffs this year, neither is State. Just somebody beat Ohio State. So that'll be a fun day. I don't see Ohio State repeating for a natty, but who the fuck knows who. And in my eyes, I hope they have an answer for what's about to come with Michigan, because I still see Michigan, even though they're not having an amazing season this year, I still see them beating Ohio State, because Michigan's playing them at home this year, I believe. And that is going to be really fun to see Ohio State get upset by Michigan at home, with Bryce Underwood's first year beating Ohio State and Ryan Day crying again because he can't beat Michigan. So look forward to crying Ryan. Look forward to some sweet, badass, successful Cade Cunningham basketball. Look forward to some more Hermdo videos. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, subscribe, and one pride. Peace.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.